All right. Hi, everyone. This is Aryanna Prasad with FanSided, and today I'm here with Julian Edelman and Sam Morril. Julian Edelman is a three-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots and a 2022 Sports Emmy nominee for his work with Inside the NFL. Sam Morril is a celebrated stand-up comedian featured on That's My Time with David Letterman and his own upcoming Netflix stand-up special, Same Time Tomorrow. Morril was also nominated for an Emmy in New York for his work on MSG's People Talking Sports. So much to say about both of you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me and us.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into it. So I want to talk about developing your new podcast, Games with Names. So Julian, your production company, Coast Productions, teamed up with WynnBET to create this podcast. How is Games with Names different from everything else out there?
Well, I think it's different because everything out there is pretty much looking for the best player, the best play. We're looking for the best game. And it's something that's very easy to engage with because we've all had our moments where we've sat and talked with another fan or another player or a high school play that you played against. And you guys always heard different perspectives of their story, and to get the actual perspective of people that are involved in these awesome games over history. We just thought it'd be great content, and Sam's hella funny. So, you put that cherry on the top, we're good.
Yeah, can't go wrong there.
Yeah, we have the NFL perspective with Julian, and then I'm like the fan perspective there. So how you have the guy who actually played in the games, then you get the guy who dresses like a Make-A-Wish kid when Eli Manning comes on. So it's a nice little combo.
Definitely. And I actually really like that it's Giants and Patriots represented. We're going to get into that in a little bit, some fun perspectives from both of you. So Sam, as Julian mentioned, you're great to add to this podcast, and you're considered a podcast veteran. You have your own Knicks Superfan podcast, Pod Don't Lie. How is this podcast going to be different from projects you've done in the past?
I mean, Julian's the difference because we really have the guy who says stuff where I'm like, wow, he knows the game so well. He's got this, these guests that come on really revere him. It's so cool to see. They're like, we get like Randy, Adrian Peterson did an episode. We have Michael Vick. These guys are looking at Julian like, I think we had Brandon Marshall say, "You were my favorite player." It's like, that's epic. It's, that's what separates us. We have a guy who's, Julian has this connection to fans. He's kind of got this everyman quality, but he's also a former star player. So that's what makes the show different is it's like that barroom vibe. But when you're out with your friend and you're like, what's the best game? Or, you've had a few too many. It's that vibe, but with a guy who knows really nothing when it comes down to it, me, and a guy who has legit, credibility in Julian.
Definitely. Yeah. And I'm glad that you brought up some of the guests that are going to be on the show. So, but I want to ask about, the premise of your show, to get into that a little bit about hearing the different perspectives. So Julian, first I want to hear from you about your story of why you wanted to team up with Sam. And then Sam, I want to hear from you about your story of how you teamed up with Julian.
Well, it started with a group hang anytime, we met on jdate.com. Then we had our first date at Arturo's. I believe that's in West Village, or on the border of West Village and Soho. And we instantly, I had fun hanging out with them. And that was the vibe we were looking for this podcast. It's more of a conversation than an interview. It's more of everyone's just in there kind of talking crap or explaining certain things. The tangents are insane that we get on. So it's just fun, and that's what we wanted to portray to people that listen, that they're in here having fun with us, just conversating. So that's how we kind of met. And I've always been a fan of Sam. I've always seen him on social, just clips. And then, we hung out and went on a couple dates and we locked it up.
Yeah, Sam, what was it like for me? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, yeah, once Julian and I met, it was either an off-Broadway production of Inglourious Bastards, or we come together. He's Brad Pitt. I'm one of the weak Jews. I think it's a perfect combo. We knew we vibed immediately, and I was like, this is gonna be a fun show. Julian is he's a perfect co-host. You know, he's the perfect guy to work with because he had this serious career, but he doesn't take himself seriously. So it's really like a match made in heaven. And I think we just had the same vision for the pod where it's like, we're going to be fun. We're going to make it like a little time portal where we go back to this great game. But we also go back to the time, like where were we? What were the trends? Like it's a way to really, so even if you're not really into sports, you're going to enjoy this.
Definitely. And actually, so I wanted to ask how both of you, Julian, we know famously flew to California to, get a call from Tom Brady wanting to build that chemistry in the offseason. So I wanted to know for a podcast, how do you two develop chemistry? Are you playing basketball? Are you getting beers? What do you do?
I've been to a few of his stand-up shows and I go hang out with him. And honestly, it's just spending time together. That's always the way you gain chemistry. Learning the nuances of just being around someone and hearing them talk and kind of just studying them. Cause he's a funny dude. And like, when you work with comedians, it's tough because usually I can get a little slapstick joke in there and it's like, the dumb athlete, he can say something funny. But then when you work with like professional comics, these guys are like always on, they always have something crazy funny to say. And when I'm trying to sit here and conversate, I just end up starting to laugh. So it's honestly, it's pretty crazy. Did I answer the question? I don't even know what the question was.
I will say that Julian is way better at comedy than I am at running slants up the middle. So,
well, I mean, you don't run a slant up the middle.
See, I'm stupid already.
I don't know. We got to work on that. Basketball. He's got the terminology. We're working with this football right now. That's what we're doing. We just hang out. We order some food. We get a couple things going, maybe a beer or two, and then this is what we do right here.
Yeah. And I love that on your podcast, we'll all be get to hear that process and everything of just you two hanging out and, both bringing your expertise to this and everything. So that's exciting. So I want to talk more about these names and games. So Sam, you mentioned a couple guests on the podcast. Is there anybody else that maybe we can tease a little bit?
Oh, I mean, Peyton Manning really killed it. Paul Pierce was great. We have a lot of football episodes in the can right now because that's who was available at the time. But I mean, we're gonna hit every sport. And
Paul Pierce in the wheelchair game.
Yeah.
Did he shit his pants? Oh, can you swear in this? Is this bad? I'm sorry.
Good, you're good.
Yeah.
Can you offer us a hint on that? I know we want to leave it for the episode, but the wheelchair game, is there anything you can tease? Do we learn something we didn't know before?
We learned everything. We have Paul Pierce sitting back in his beautiful Los Angeles house with the pool in the background, the hookah in his hand, just opening up everything about that game on that episode, which you gotta stay tuned. You gotta stay tuned.
Did he shit himself? We'll see. I mean, that's the teaser. Did he shit his pants? Episode 4. We'll see. Wait, stay tuned.
The world has to watch. Yeah. So is there a guest maybe that, you'd be willing to describe? Like maybe there's a 3-time Olympian or someone who won 7 Super Bowl rings.
We don't have a 7-time Super Bowl winner yet on our podcast.
Okay.
It's funny. When you sit and you think who has 7 Super Bowls, and I was like, oh shit, my friend has it, but he still hasn't come onto my podcast. I don't know that we don't have that.
Julian won't say this, but I'll say it. Tom Brady's a coward.
Wow.
You take that back. Take that back.
I'll take it back if he comes on the show. Tom, you're the GOAT, but do you still have bravery? Maybe you're getting a little old. Maybe you're a little scared. Maybe you took some time off because your arm doesn't have the same zip and you're nervous. We can talk about that. We welcome you on Games with Names, but until you come on, I can't say you're brave. I can't say it in good conscience.
Tom, you're the bravest man I ever seen in my life. So if you're listening to this, that's everything of him, okay? I just want to let you know.
This is the good cop, bad cop approach. This is how you get Tom right here.
You bully him on?
No, I kind of come hard and Julian is like, he's a nice cop. That's a good cop, bad cop. That's how you do it.
I'm sure it'll definitely happen, and I'm looking forward to that. But thank you for confirming that hint. So I wanted to know, I also saw in the description that can we get a hint about who's interviewed in the 2007 Super Bowl?
Ooh, which one was that?
Oh, Giants Patriots?
Oh, you don't remember that? That was one of the best ones ever, Julian. I think that's our first episode, and I think it's Eli Manning and Teddy Bruschi, if I remember correctly.
Oh, all right. Thanks for telling me. That's awesome. So is there any, obviously we're trying to get Tom on the show. Is there any other game or guest that both of you would love to do in the future?
Ooh.
We've got a couple that I'm looking forward. We got a confirmation on Joe Namath. And I think that would be so cool just to go back in that time of the world and explore under his perspective, with his perspective on like just life. Because Broadway Joe is so big for the National Football League and how cool he was. And he was in New York. Like, it's just, I think that would be cool. The guarantee Super Bowl III. I think that would be awesome. That's one of mine that I'm looking forward to. What about you, Sam?
Magic and Bird together, because like it's all about great games and rivalries, and those two kind of saved the NBA. So those would be two that I'd be pumped for. But Broadway Joe's a huge one. I love the idea of getting big fans on too, because we get these big athletes. Maybe we tack a big fan on the end. We get Sandler, someone like that. Someone who's a big fan. I'm into too. But Spike Lee, because I'm a huge Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Which I still don't get Sandler, and I ask him all the time. I mean, he grew up in New Hampshire. Yeah, your family his parents are from New York or whatever, but he's a Jets fan, and I don't get it. But you grew up in New Hampshire, that's New England. I still don't get it.
I get it completely. You went with the right team.
The Jets.
If it's between the Jets and the Patriots, I'll take the Jets. Although I do have a weird it's a weird thing where like all these years I watched Julian and I always respected him so much. I always respected all those players because they were just so great. But goddamn, it's weird you feel like you befriended the enemy a little bit, and now I love him. So it's this weird thing where like, oh man, I rewatched the clips and it's kind of cool to watch him play now. And when you're watching YouTube clips and you're like, oh no, that's like a good guy.
Come over to the side, buddy.
So that actually leads to another question that I had. So Julian, you almost signed with the Giants, actually. Probably would have made Sam's life back in 2013. So Sam, do you think that you would like Julian more if he signed with the Giants?
Oh, I mean, he would have fit in perfectly. I mean, the Giants had, they needed someone like, if we had like Victor Cruz and Julian together on that receiving duo would have been nasty. Yeah, I mean, that would have been awesome. But I think he did what was right for him. He wouldn't have gotten those Super Bowls at the end. He wouldn't have had that amazing catch against the Falcons, so he did the right thing for him. So I'm glad he did it because he gets this legendary career. And the Giants were kind of on the way down back then. So he did the right thing, as though it pains me to say it, but.
That would be. Talk about butterfly effect. What if I would have signed in 20? It was 2012 actually.
Oh,
sorry. 2012. It was when I signed the 1-year deal. I signed a 1-year deal after 2012, and then I signed another deal in 2013, the long term. But what if I would have went to the Giants?
You wouldn't have a Super Bowl MVP probably.
You don't know. Maybe we would have.
Maybe with the Giants. That's true.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe there'll be a game like that we talk about in our podcast, Games with Names, presented by WynnBET, of course, that will go and declare what the butterfly effect of this was. This could be like a Twilight Zone type episode.
I do like a what if type episode.
It is. We're creating while we're just sitting and we're talking on your podcast, or this is people loving people helping people.
Yeah. Well, hey, I would love to see that episode. But I know that we're talking a lot about, obviously the greatest games all time, greatest moments. But Julian, what's your worst low light from BillTube that you're still just, you think about it and you cringe to this day?
I dropped a wide route once, like a diagonal.
Mm-hmm.
I put my eyes upfield, and it's like a routine, like little kid play. And it was early on. And he just, I wasn't comfortable. I was terrified. And I think this was like year 4 or something, 3. And he just, he keeps rewinding it. Rewinding it and rewinding in front of the whole team. And it's just like, you're sitting embarrassed because you don't want your boys to see, like your boys on defense, you see them, but in the team meeting, everyone sees this, and then you just get the embarrassment factor, the accountability factor. It's just that I remember specifically that one, or I think it was 2011. I fumbled a punt against the Giants and we lost that game. I muffed it. That was, I just went down a dark hole. It was terrible.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring you there. I just, I know this is all about greatest games and everything, but we love hearing about Bill too, because obviously just trying to imagine being in that room.
I'm going to see Bill tomorrow in Vegas.
Whoa.
And him, and I'm going to go see the, McDaniels over with the Raiders, Ziegler with the Raiders. And it's funny. I don't know why, but sometimes I've had a couple random texts from Bill, and it's just like, man, am I friends with him now?
Wow.
Are we really friends? like forming like great text, like nice texts, like randomly. I'm like, what? Did we just become friends? Let's go.
So what text was it where you're like, I think we're friends now?
I think it was like a week ago. He says, look forward to seeing you at camp. Something like that. And I think he dropped I miss you. I don't know. I blacked out. I fainted. I may have deleted
Oh my God.
it. I'm blushing right now.
I like picturing Belichick like typing "I miss you" with that classic frown on his face too.
No, but Bill has a funny ass laugh. He's got a smile. He's got a smile that he does. It's pretty fun.
So is Bill going to join the pod?
That's a big one.
That would be good. It'd be funny. It'd be awesome. Actually, I don't know. I'm still too scared to ask him to do anything.
But hey, it looks like you're working towards that. So
you never know. Do season 3.
Yeah. So actually, I'm glad that you brought up Bill and Vegas, because I wanted to ask you, Julian, I know you like to bet. So if you had to put odds on when Bill's going to retire, what would you say? And are you willing to put 100K on it?
What's he, 70? Is Bill 70 now? 70. And what's Pete Carroll's 75?
They're actually close to the same age. Maybe he's like 70 or 71.
What's the oldest coach? Who's the oldest coach?
I should know that.
I could see Bill, like, he actually looks pretty good for 70. I could see him going 8 more, 6 more.
6 more? So above 75.
75, 76. I just think, like, I don't know. I think he'll do it till the day he goes. I don't know.
That would be the most badass way to go. You just like some new guy fumbles a punt return and he's like, and he just dies. That's a badass way to go out.
No, like his Elvis way of going out, like watching film in his office. And he just goes and the clickers like next to his heart. Can you see that? Like he's sitting in his clicker, handing clicker, because they call him the cowboy clicker. Handing cowboy clicker on chest. That's the way. I'm telling you, that's. I think that's like the dream way for any coach to go.
Now, we can't imagine it any other way.
Watching the victory formation. Victory formation. That's all coaches want. End game victory formation.
So that, that's another prediction there. So when Bill's going to retire and how he's going to retire. So
I'm really glad the headline's going to be like Sam and Julian predict Bill Belichick's demise. This is going to be a really nice feel-good fan-sided piece.
I hope it doesn't get picked up until Thursday.
We won't do that to you, okay?
I hope this thing. When are you airing this thing? So I got to see him tomorrow. All right. When are you airing this thing?
Okay. Well, you tell us, okay? We can hold out for you.
I don't care. Coach he's going to. That's all he knows. I love him.
Of course. It's all, and in a way we're honoring him, right? We know how much he loves coaching, that we know is the best, doing what he loves, right? So we mean it with all respect, Bill. So, Julian, you've answered so many Patriots questions. Sam, I want to get to you and I might pick on you a little bit with some of your, New York fandom. So who's winning the Quadzilla title? We know it's been Saquon Barkley, but AJ Dillon has come on the scene. I think there's some other guys too. So is it still Saquon?
Saquon's quads are so big you can't even see his penis, and that guy's probably got a big penis. So Saquon is the quad champion in my opinion. And that guy is due a break back year. He's gonna have a big year. I feel it. I feel all right. Everyone's putting the Giants last in the NFC East, but hey, Saquon's gonna make running backs cool again. That's how big a year he's gonna have. I'm fired up.
That's a huge prediction, almost as big as his quads. But that actually leads me into, I got to go back to one of your other predictions for the Knicks. I'm sorry to call you out here, but you predicted that the Knicks, they were 5-1.
Yeah.
And you said they were going to be number one seed. All right. So what bold prediction do you have for the Knicks this season?
I did do that, huh? Well, look, you get carried up in the moment. Sometimes the season always starts with
the playoffs.
They're going to sniff the playoffs. I think they're in. Jalen Brunson's a dog, dude. I think
18 teams in the NBA make the playoffs, Sam. That's 20.
16, I guess. But it's, I think they could do it, dude. I believe Julius Randle's going to have a bounce back year. Jalen Brunson is a great little piece. I think the Jazz are going to lose Donovan Mitchell because who the fuck wants to play in Utah? Let's be real. What do you want to shoot around from Mitt Romney and his dumb khakis? Come on, get Donovan Mitchell out of there. He wants to be a Knick so bad. Now it's like a little too badly. I see him at the Citi Field games. His dad works for the Mets, right? It's one of the things where we're like, all right, dude, stop being so thirsty. We know you want us. We want you too, but there's a dance you got to play. I mean, if I was a Jazz fan, I'd feel terrible. But yeah, I think the Knicks are going to be solid. I think we're going to be, just can't give up too much for Donovan. He's a great player, but
I mean, maybe he doesn't want to career by going to the Knicks.
I think he makes.
I don't know. I have a personal vendetta out to the Knicks because I was supposed to go see a Knicks game, and I heard Mr. Dolan. I heard he wouldn't let me come sit on the court. So, I mean, I thought it was all love here and there. And then I think I got axed. I get axed from something. I mean, how are you going to axe me?
Well, you're banned?
Well, no, I think it's a sign of respect. I think it's truly, I do. Because
remember that was during the podcast. We were talking about that.
Well, I think it's a sign of respect, Julian. You're a Boston sports legend. They're not going to hook you up with floor seats at a Knicks game. And by the way, you probably get showered with booze because you were a great player. That's respect in New York.
I'm just saying. Whatever.
I watched a guy at the Comedy Cellar, one of the door guys, Steve, took a picture with Julian. And he goes, I'm a huge fan. And the second they take a picture, he goes, "Go Giants." I was like, that's respect. He still was honest with him. I was like, that's pretty cool.
So I think I might have to add Julian to this list, but I was actually going to ask you, Sam, who is the most, who do Knicks fans hate more? Do they hate Trae Young or Tom Brady, or is it Julian Edelman?
No, I think it's right now. It's definitely Trae Young. I don't think they ever, first off, we never hated Tom Brady because they beat him twice. No, and also you can't really hate Brady. It's like hating Jordan. I don't think we ever hated the Patriots. I think we hated Trae Young. Really, God, he's so good too. That's what really annoys me. Is he shouldn't be this good. He's such a good player. definitely hated Kurt Schilling back in the day, the bloody sock. But you hate them because they're great. Like Trey's a great player. So, and he's got that dumb meme of his haircut looking like a lollipop falling on the barbershop floor. Like it's the most on the money meme ever. He's got the most ridiculous. It sucks to lose to a guy with the same haircut from Rick and Morty. You know, like how is he this young and he has Rick's hair? No, he's an incredible player. He really is, and you gotta give him credit.
He should get one of those hair. He should get a hair like endorsement, like a hemp. Don't they have? I think Gronk's got one or something. I think you gotta monetize that. You know, you could run with that, buddy. There's a lot of people out there like you.
Definitely.
Man of the people.
Yeah, like. And well, you got to respect him too, because the New York crowd is chanting Trey is balding, and he just goes off, and you're like, that's what you do. You're supposed to react that way.
I respect. That's beast. He likes being the villain. I love that about him.
Yeah, me too. I respect guys who are like, they're unfazed. He's a good player.
It's kind of like when you went into the Jets stadium, you just felt. Or Giants Stadium. It's technically Giant, but against the Jets. We didn't really play the Giants that often.
It is weird that they shared the stadium, isn't it?
No, I mean, not really. They've been doing it for so long. I remember playing the old Met. That was crazy. I felt like it feels the same. Honestly, the design and everything, it's just nicer. See, tangent. We get on tangents. My bad.
That's the whole point, right? It's just good conversation. And I'm learning a lot here. And actually, you guys are going into my next question. So Sam, I wanted to ask you, and Julian as well, but I know we could have a Subway series on our hands. That's really exciting in baseball. So I wanted to know from both of you, if you'd like to predict the year that we see a super Snoopy Bowl between the Giants and Jets. Is that happening at any point?
Not in my lifetime. Not in my lifetime. We got a while to go here.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a shot for it in baseball, though, which is pretty exciting. I mean, the Mets feel like a team of destiny right now, and damn,
the Yankees don't. The Yankees had the worst month of I think of baseball history. 4-19.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yankees were on a tear. I mean, thank God they started so hot. They can kind of afford to play like shit for a while, you know? It's almost okay. I mean, they're still in first by a lot. And
your best baseball going into the playoffs, not, in summer while people are eating hot dog. No one even watching baseball yet. There's no one in the stands. The hunt for Red October.
Yeah, no, I'm worried for the Yankees for sure, but every hitter seems to have gone cold, even the great and mighty Aaron Judge, but he'll be back. He'll be back. He's the MVP.
He's a lumberjack. He looks like a lumberjack.
He looks like Jason Momoa in Aquaman. He's just a giant dude. Dude. I've seen him in person, and you usually go to baseball players, and you see some big guys. He's like a basketball player. Yeah, he's like 6'7" or something.
Like a tackle.
Huge. Yeah. Yeah, I think it will be a Subway series, and I'm worried. The Mets have great pitching. Like they could take them. It could be a series.
That's exciting. Another bold prediction. Edelman, do you have any comments on the Boston Red Sox? I mean, you are wearing their hat, but they haven't been having the best season either.
Yeah, what are they, like 5 out, 6 out of the wild card? They're 5 out.
Yeah, they're close. Yeah,
they're like 3 or 4. You know what? There's growing pains in the season. A team learns what team they are through the adverse situations that they go through. And this, as the people of Boston know, a tough town, dirt in your fingernail type people, we know that it's never easy. We want to go into the playoffs. We want to start turning it on right now. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think that's what they're going to do.
Wow, that's
I was just so happy that Bill Burr played Fenway Park last night so they could finally have something to cheer about.
He did. I know. I missed that. I wish I would have got.
Me too.
You gonna join the pod? I feel like he's a perfect guest for both of you.
He is ideal. We'll get Burr.
Burr will be on, guaranteed. Brady, I don't know. We're still working on it. We're getting through. I think we're getting through his first wave of people. I think he's got like 6 more. We got 6 more. The 7-layer dip. That's how you get to Brady. It's like when you go to a Super Bowl party and you got the bean, the sour cream, the cheese, the guacamole, the layer of salsa, layer of olives. Like I'm still at the olive on the top right now, trying to get Brady on this podcast.
We're gonna get him, and we also have great Brady stories on this pod from someone who played with him. I mean, I didn't know that his cheat food was fried chicken, which is nice to hear because I thought Brady just
not fried chicken. That's a teaser though. It's close. You're warm.
Oh, okay, but what was it? Okay, I guess you got to listen. That's a good tease.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. But it's something like fried chicken. He has a cheat food, so we know that much.
Neither confirm. I deny.
Oh, you can confirm or deny?
I feel like he's going to be on. I think he's going to hear the coward comments. And I think the competitor that Tom is, he's going to want to prove everybody wrong. Is Tom a coward? Look, I don't know. I said those words. Am I prepared to defend them? Probably not to his face. But once we get him on, he's already on. And that's really the mission.
See Sam crumble when he looks into Tom and Tom got his shiny blue eyes and his chin might poke him through the TV screen or his screen, and he's just gonna be like, hey.
But he was on LeBron's show, so can you, Jules? It's like, hey, why'd you go to LeBron's show? Come on mine.
Was he? What show?
Yeah.
The shop.
That motherfucker comment.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Well, look, that show's been on for a few seasons. We're still in the prove it. Julian's now restarted his whole thing as a broadcaster. He's going to be a huge broadcaster, but this is our first season.
Yeah.
Analyst. I'm sorry.
Analyze. I'm not broadcasting yet. I mean, with the things we got to watch on TV. So sometimes I feel like I have to go broadcast. Sometimes I feel like I have to go broadcast for the people because some of the things I'm hearing on these TVs are just atrocious. Bad football talk. Some of them are good.
Go ahead. You want to drop any topics or names?
No, I don't. I'm Sweden over. I'm Switzerland over here.
Wow. I'll drop names.
Go ahead, Sam.
Let's just start beef with a random guy, Julian. I think we need buzz. What if we just what if I'm just you know what? I think Troy Aikman is lost it, dude.
Troy Aikman? I don't know. Do I want that cowboy beef? Do I want that cowboy beef?
What about Nick Wright? We already have a beef about the hairline.
Oh, Nick Wright? I'm not getting on Nick Smart. Nick Wright,
that guy, he's a lot.
Yeah, he's too smart. I can't mess with him.
Oh,
I don't feel like dipping into that, barking up that tree.
He came for you a little bit.
He's got some good words. He always comes at me, but don't worry. I don't get mad. I get even.
You get even, right? I mean, you guys beat everyone's team, so So I have one question, and we can go into this. So Sam, you have a lot of material on the people of Florida, which is
sure.
Love that. So what would you think if Julian actually unretired and moved to Tampa and played for the Bucs, thus becoming a Floridian?
I don't want him to go back just because, he played such a physical style. He walked out of the perfect time.
You don't want to see me get hit.
I don't want to see you get hit, dude. I feel like I'm going to be Adrian and Rocky. I'm going to be screaming on the sidelines for Julian. I don't want to see him get hit again. But I mean, look, he was a great player. I'm sure Tom wants him to come back.
Fighters fight.
This is what you do, dude. You sign a 10-day deal just to get Tom kind of excited. And then you kind of flirt with him. And you're like, maybe I'll sign another deal, but you got to come on games with names. Maybe you double fist. You're in that world. You're in our world. What do you think?
And then he does the episode, and then I just retire again.
Yeah, dude. You give him like one great game, a taste of the Julian Edelman of old. You go for like 10 receptions, 130 yards, couple TDs, and then out of nowhere, you're just like, I'm out, dude. You just walk away.
I mean, that would be such a cowboy way of going out. That'd
That'd
be
pretty
like,
badass.
I mean, I just got a little chill. You just go out on your own
Just
terms.
tease Tom, dude. Just
let him know you still do it. Just let him know you still got it on the field. The legs are feeling crispy. Body is feeling fresh. Got them young legs.
He does have great legs. Julian's legs, like it hurt me a lot that he described his as racehorse legs and I'm a show pony. That did hurt when he said that, because he's right. My legs are skinny as hell. And he has got we're talking about quads. I know we were talking Saquon.
Yeah.
Julian's got some nice quad. Yeah, but you got nice quads, dude.
Not even close. Saquon he's got tree trunks. Those are tree trunks.
I know, but I am sexually excited by Julian's legs, and I'm a straight man. So you have to give him props where they're due. They're awesome legs. If I saw him from behind, I would have to acknowledge him. It's like you ever just see a dude walk by on the street and you're like, dude, he works out. Like it's pretty cool. Like that's Julian.
That's the motivation now. I got to go work out.
So Julian, are you showing us a lot of your legs on the pod?
Yes. Not only, if Julian can't hear me, not only do we show his legs, but you get a little taste of the outline of his penis as well. This is going to be a huge hit. Ladies.
Definitely tune in. Well, Sam, Julian, thank you so much for your time today. This was an incredible.
Cuts it off of that one. All right, well, we gotta go. We had a great conversation here. You guys take care.
Well, that's a great, I think, teaser to leave everyone with. So, you gotta tune in.
Brady, is he a coward or is he not? Julian, do we see a piece of that meaty hog? Stay tuned. We'll see.
We'll see.
Will and buckle when he sees Tom Brady's jawline.
I am. He is a sexy man and an icon. So yeah, no question. I will buckle. I will not defend my words, and I will fold like a little boy. No question.
But tomorrow we can hear both of you. Games with Names is premiering anywhere that you can find podcasts, Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and on YouTube as well. So Sam, Julian, it's been amazing to speak with both of you. Thank you so much for your insight and your opinions, valuable, and I look forward to listening to your show.
Appreciate you having us on. And it's Games with Names presented by WynnBET, of course.
Yes, Games with Names presented by WynnBET. Thank you so much.